What up? This is Rapids. So I released a video a while ago, and I was telling y'all about how Halle Bailey is actually very toxic because she admits it herself.
In a relationship, I think I have anxious attachment style. Everybody knows I'm an Aries, I'm a fire sign. I get very passionate. I seem nice online and innocent and everything, but you guys do not know. I will go to battle with my yelling, with my words, everything. I'm good at that, right? And if I gotta yell or check anyone, that's what I gotta do. That's just the way I be.
Clap back or sit back. I always have to choose clap back. I'm sorry. I'm a very kind person, but if somebody pokes at me or the people that I love, it's over for you. I'm an Aries. Sorry.
Never have I ever started drama with my boyfriend for no reason.
Put it down.
I've, you know. I'm territorial. I'm a jealous girlfriend. I'm a territorial girlfriend. Where you go, who are you with? That's me.
I am nosy, number one. And number two, I like drama. I just don't like drama in my life, but I love watching it in other people's. So, I love my baby so much. I need him with me in order to function, in order to be able to do the scenes and everything. So, he's been out here with me majority of the time. But this week, and I go home on the weekends. But this week, I had a lighter week, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I got here last night, and I'm going home tomorrow. So I was like, let me try to test myself and see if I can be without him for a day and leave him, let him and his daddy have daddy and son time. And you guys, I miss him so much. But everybody knows Moo's the best daddy to him, but I miss him so much. Yesterday on the plane, I was crying, and I went to you know, the little airport stores. I bought a teddy bear, and I was like clutching it to my chest. I bought a Build-A-Bear and a blanket, and I was clutching it to my chest, literally on the plane last night, crying to not feel like miserable without him. I love him so much, guys. I don't know how this is possible. Anyway.
Now, the video didn't get pushed very far because, you know, I need y'all to like my video so that you don't miss nothing, because I be reporting some good information, and it needs to get reached out more so people can see this stuff, because this would have showed y'all before this news broke out now about how Halle is very toxic, and the text messages prove this. So DDG just did a text message dump where he showed everybody how Halle really is behind the scenes. So in the clip I played, look, Halle is admitting she is very toxic, and it sounds like kind of unstable, you know. It's not the image that she's been painting to the public. This is the issue I have with a lot of these cases that the Me Too movement tries to push, like women are just these innocent victims all the time, where sometimes it goes both ways, like Blueface and Chrisean Rock, you know, and that was obvious to the public, but sometimes it's not so obvious to the public. And you have people like Halle Bailey, where people just have this image of her that she's this very sweet, innocent, quiet girl and shy and all this stuff, but really she's not like that. It looks like she's much different than what she's been presenting to us. So what does this say about possibly Megan Thee Stallion, Kelsey, Cassie, and all them? It's like you never know what the true story is really, because the system is designed to take men and just make them the bad guy all the time. It's like they don't even do their due diligence. They don't do due process when things come around. They instantly just award everything to the women, it looks like. But really, that shows that the system is very outdated when it comes to men and women and how they're treated in the system. So instantly, DDG got a restraining order put on him. I did the report a while ago and showed y'all that I think there's way more to the story, because I came across that clip where Halle admits that she could be the issue in a relationship a lot of times. and she might start tweaking on you and stuff. So I showed that, and then you know what I'm saying, I explained that, look, I think there's more to it. Well, this proves me right. So I'm having the text messages play in the background because I can't read these text messages because it gets too, she says way too much. You know, she's talking about doing stuff to herself, basically unaliving herself and all this crazy stuff. She just, you know, so I'm not going to read the text or have it read to you. You can read it in the background as I'm talking, and take your time, and you can pause it, make it go slower, whatever you got to do to read all the text, because this covers from before she was pregnant to when she was pregnant to after the baby was born. Halo, I believe the baby's called. So it spans from the year 2022 to, I believe, currently, like 2025. So I'm wondering why DDG didn't play this in court. Like, did he not have this information? Because, well, I guess they have another court date coming up where they're going to talk about this restraining order that the judge granted, because the court's going to look kind of crazy now, granting Halle the restraining order. They just automatically, like I said, they assume the women's the innocent victim, the guy's always the bad guy. And I think the court system needs to, you know, get more in tune with these days and these times where you got people like this, where they might appear to be this very nice person, but they really could be a very toxic person that the guy is dealing with. And the guy's not always the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that DDG might not have done his share of stuff in this situation. I don't know exactly what he might have done or not done. I know there's been allegations about, you know what I'm saying, what he's been doing while he's in a relationship with Halle Bailey and all that. And I don't know about his anger issues or anything, if he really has. I've been hearing he might have an anger issue. I don't know exactly. I haven't seen the proof, but all I know is that there's two sides to every story, and this shows and proves that Halle Bailey is not as innocent as she appears to be, and she is just as toxic, if not more toxic, as DDG. And we need to do away with this Me Too stuff, where it's just, you know, the court's is going to look crazy when they see this text message dump. And I wonder if they even had that yet. I don't think they did, because from what I understand, the first restraining order was granted as an emergency restraining order against DDG. Halle put on DDG. And in these text messages, she's saying how he's going to be sorry and he's going to pay for his, you know, actions. And, you know, she's all up on, you know, DDG trying to say all this stuff she's going to do to him or herself. And it's very disturbing, a lot of the stuff she was saying, talking about grabbing, you know what I'm saying, something to, you know, I don't know, just to do something to off herself, basically. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. Like, it's basically she's looking for attention, I think, or she's looking for a response, because it looks like a lot of these messages she was just sending back to back to back to back, and he wasn't responding to a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't responding to a lot of these messages. Every once in a while he'd speak up and respond, but a lot of these messages he was just letting her go all out, and she was crashing out. You know what I'm saying? So this is the side that I wanted y'all to see, because I knew there was more to the story. And then, you know what I'm saying, the video only did like, it didn't even do the numbers it should have done. But as more people start liking my videos, you're going to see that I'm going to start coming to y'all. I'll be coming to y'all with news before a lot of people get it. You know what I'm saying? I have good sources, and I'm going to be sending my videos out, and then they're going to start doing the numbers they're supposed to do once y'all start liking the video more. Let's get 100 likes on this video to start off with, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we need to get these numbers up, because y'all could have been known this information about Halle, what I was saying. Y'all thought I was just tweaking or something, I don't know. But look, Halle seems to be toxic. It reminds me a lot, like I said, Blueface and Chrisean, where, you know what I'm saying, she was the aggressor, it looked like, in a lot of situations. Like Chrisean was just a crazy person and always tweaking. And to me, I mean, this is my opinion, it just looked like that's not somebody you would want to really be dealing with. It looked very toxic what they had going on, Blueface and Chrisean. And what I'm hearing is she might have played a role in him being locked up right now. Like, you know what I'm saying, he was supposed to have been staying away from certain areas, and she had him there, and she was the one tweaking on people, and Blueface was in the in that situation because they were together. So that he got caught up in some probation violation stuff due to the actions of Chrisean Rock tweaking on people. And you know what I'm saying, that's kind of what I recall is the situation Blueface got caught up in, and probably wouldn't have happened if he was minding his business and knew how to stay away from that toxic energy that some of these chicks be having. So I think this should make everyone know to, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking about this Me Too stuff and you see these movements like with you know, Megan, like everybody was like, oh, she, you know, now it's not clear what happened. Tory, if y'all been watching my videos, Tory didn't want to tell on them. Tory was hoping that they can get out of that situation with nobody telling on each other and they just kind of like move on with their life. But you know what I'm saying, sometimes when you don't talk, they might look at that like you did something wrong, or they'll just go with the story they got because you're not talking. And Tory didn't talk, and if he really didn't do that to Meg, you know, that's his fault because he should have spoke up when the trial was going on. Now it's much more difficult to get the new evidence submitted. If he's now proven that nothing really happened to Meg like she was saying, or Kelsey might have did it, if that's true, then you know, that's on him because he should have spoke up. Now he's seeing it's very difficult to get that information added into the case now. So, you know, when you don't talk, sometimes silence can you know, sometimes police can look at that like you're guilty. And so look, with Halle, I mean, it didn't go, it looks like it didn't thankfully go to any direction where anyone got hurt or anything. And I think they're gonna be good because they got separated. Now he knows, like, okay, she's super toxic like she said she was. She admitted this a long time ago how toxic she was. Now she can, now he knows, okay, being around her might not be a good idea, you know what I'm saying? So during these text messages, she's just going about how, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, you just doing your own thing. And he's like, you told me to leave, like, and then he wouldn't let her in because the thumpers were in the house, and you know, there's a baby involved, and he don't know how safe it is to have her out there. She's coming to the door with the baby. He's not letting them in. He's trying to move on, you know what I'm saying, because he knows how toxic she is now. And now they got to deal with each other for a long time. This baby, you know what I'm saying, is now going to grow up, with, you know what I'm saying, the two parents just added with each other. And that restraining order, the court date's coming up. So we're going to see what the judge says now, because now it's his time to show the judge. Like I said, he ain't going to be sitting by being quiet like Tory Lanez did. Tory Lanez let them get in that courtroom and just tear him apart, and he stayed silent. That was, to me, is just, that was not a good move. He should have been speaking up and defending himself, in my opinion, in that courtroom. If he didn't do it, he should have said exactly what happened. But he didn't want to be looked at like, oh, you telling on people, you taking a stand. He didn't know how that was going to affect his image or his career, so he just stayed quiet and let his lawyers handle it. And look how it turned out for him. So DDG knows, like, he's going to release these text messages, start showing his defense. Defend yourself, you know what I'm saying? Because Halle was trying to paint him, DDG, to be a bad guy. But now DDG's showing what he's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? What he's been dealing with, an unstable person that it really might not be in the best interest for that baby to have, be in Halle's custody. So at this point, I'm going to be interested to see what the judge thinks about this, because now the courts can finally see the other side of the story in their face and say, okay, well, you just granted an emergency restraining order against DDG, but look at her. Look at how Halle is behaving in these text messages. She's unhinged, you know what I'm saying, and unstable, and making threats, and you know what I'm saying, to herself and possibly to others. And it just might not be a good idea to maybe have that baby with her. But I mean, the court's gonna have to figure this out themselves. Maybe even child CPS might have to get involved or something and figure this out, because it's just not a good look for them to be going through this, and it's getting very public. And now, who knows, maybe she's going to have a response. You know what I'm saying? At this point, Halle Bailey might have some more stuff to put out now. We'll see what she has to put out in the situation, because so far, I would say it's pretty even now. Or DDG might even have the advantage at this point with this whole situation. He might have the advantage, in my opinion, at this point, until more information comes out. We'll see if Halle can dig up some more information to put out there. DDG already said that he got some thumpers in the house, so that might not go over well with the court. They might, they might have to address that. If he's looking for custody of Halo, the courts might have to figure out, okay, so you said you got thumpers, maybe we got to figure out what's going on with that. That might not be a good, he might have to prove that he can keep the child safe, because if he's concerned, they might be concerned about that part of the text messages where you're saying he doesn't know what she might do with those thumpers, or it's, he was concerned about the thumpers in his house, DDG was saying to Halle. So the court's going to see all that, though. They're going to see all that and make the decision coming up, and I'd say within a month or so, they're going to have to make a decision if they're going to continue to keep that restraining order. I think it's probably best that they stay apart, but maybe he can put a restraining order back on her. I think that's what he's trying to do. And so it'll be like both of them will have a restraining order. So how are they going to see their kids? You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to probably drop the baby off at a neutral place, where a family member or something, where they can not be, close to each other, because they're supposed to be like 100 yards apart. Well, at least DDG is supposed to be away from Halle, but from these messages, it looks like DDG has enough evidence to show that maybe he should have a restraining order against her, as well. And then I don't know what that means for the kid, though, and hopefully that kid can grow up with, the right parenting, because it's just not a good look right now for that baby. I mean, this is the type of stuff that can turn a kid as he grows up, and you never know what this kid ends up becoming if he doesn't have the right parenting involved in his life. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a broken home situation now for that kid. That's the way it's looking. So they're going to have to figure this out. And with the help of the court, hopefully they can come to a good conclusion to this story, and maybe figure out a way to make the decisions that's in the best interest of the child. So yeah, that's about it, y'all. Let me get them likes up. Let's get at least 100 likes on this video. Also, check the description box for more videos and all that. And let me see, make sure you subscribe and follow Rap HITZ on all social media and all that. I'm out.